All right, so that is our discussion of light. We now know that light travels in waves, but the energy is carried in little tiny packets called photons. Max Planck found the energy was related to the frequency, but he had no idea about the photons. Einstein took the ideas of Planck and the ideas of Joule, of the photoelectric effect, and was able to put them together and be able to explain. So now we know that there's a certain cutoff frequency here. So red, the photons are just too small. The energy is too weak on red light to be able to free the electron, because we know the electron is held to the nucleus. There's a certain force that you have to apply to be able to free that electron. Well, the red photons aren't strong enough, so they just bounce off. But eventually, you get to a point to where there's enough energy in the photon to free the electron. Okay? And so that energy, the whole idea is there's a cutoff frequency. Now, Einstein also came up with this law of photoelectric emission, which says that the kinetic energy of the electron is equal to the incident light minus W, which we call the work function. All that means is that's the energy it takes to knock the electron free. When H nu equals W, that's your cutoff frequency. Okay, when you have just enough energy to knock the electron free. Okay? Anything left over, so if as the incident light, as you go from green to blue to indigo to violet, you're increasing the size of the photon, the energy of the photon, therefore the work function staying the same, so you're going to have more energy for kinetic energy, so the electrons are going to be traveling faster across. But if you change the brightness only, I go from 5-watt green to 50-watt green. I'm not going to change the speed at all because the frequency is still the same. I'm just going to get a whole lot more electrons being given off because I'm bombarding it with a whole lot more photons. So the takeaway from this is that brightness determines, this is worthy of writing down, brightness determines the number of photons, frequency determines the energy of the photon. Brightness determines the number of photons. The frequency, parentheses, color, determines the energy of the photon. Everybody get that? Do I need to repeat it? All right, so all of those experiments kind of working together try to get us to a present day theory of light. So right now when we're looking at this light, all light is produced by electrons being promoted up. Now there's only two ways in which we promote electrons. Either you heat them up or you put electricity into them.